Well, hey there, everyone. Of course, my dog decides to walk in right as I start, but that's okay. Sparkles will be good. Sparks, on your bed, bud. Hey, everyone. How's it going? Happy Monday. I am so flippin' excited for today and for this week because this week we've got a lot of good stuff coming your way. So, let's see. First of all, I'm also realizing I should have put a little more effort into my hair. It doesn't look so good. That's okay. We're not going to worry about it. So this week is big for a couple of reasons. The first is because later today, in fact, right after this live, I am going to be opening the doors to my membership, Badass Action Takers. This is, we started Badass Action Takers a few months ago. It's been incredible. We've got a great group of members in there already. This is actually the first time we're opening the doors like officially. We welcomed in a group of founding members a few months ago, but this is official. Welcoming everybody in today, and we're only going to be open for 4 days. So through Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Eastern, got to go pick up the kids. So we said 5 p.m. Eastern through Thursday, and it's your chance to join Badass Action Takers. But I'm not here to talk about that today. We're going to talk about something, I don't know, even more fun. Although I am going to go ahead and throw this up here real fast. Hold on. For anyone who is interested in the membership, you can check it out by going to megkwheeler.com/action. And I'll definitely share more details in a few minutes. But the reason we're here today is because we're actually kicking off day one of our Show Me the Money challenge. Now, if you want to be a part of this challenge, you don't have to do anything other than show up here every single day for the next 4 days at 11 a.m. Eastern. Either here in the group Badass Moneymakers, if that's where you're watching me, over on my YouTube channel or on my Facebook page. And here's the cool thing about this challenge. So this challenge really came out of a need from a lot of my clients and people in my community who said, you know, I'm just really struggling to pay myself. Like, this is still the issue in my business. Even if you're making money, or maybe you're not quite making a ton of money yet, but this is why we all got into business, right? One of the reasons. Otherwise, it would just be an expensive hobby, but we are here to make money so that we can take care of our families, so that we can have more impact in the world, so that we can live the lives that we want to live. And I get it. It's hard, you know, especially in the first year or so, but even if you're beyond that, it can still be hard to bring money in consistently so that you can pay yourself. So that's what we're going to talk about this whole week. Cool? Hair is good. Thank you. I appreciate that. I just feel I'm on like day 2 of not having showered. I'll fully admit it. This happens in the summer because with the beach, like, you know, I go to the beach and whatever. It's just my style. But anyway, so day 1 of Show Me the Money challenge. Now, here's the thing. It's a 4-day challenge. So again, Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern, I will be here. That's all you have to do is just show up here live or watch the replay. And we're going to talk about the 4 really action steps for you to be able to pay yourself consistently and well in your business. So day 1 today is all about prioritizing you. Now, this is a bit of a mindset one. So tomorrow and Wednesday, we're going to get really more into the nitty-gritty action steps. Today is much more about reframing your mindset around this stuff, because the biggest reason I see why my clients and my community members are not paying themselves isn't because they don't have enough money. It's because when they sit down and they take whatever money they're earning and they allocate it, can you guess what I'm about to say? Guess who gets allocated last? Themselves. And here's the problem with this. Hold on, I need some water. Here's the problem with this. You are your business's biggest and most important and most valuable asset by far. Maybe years and years and years and years and years from now, after you've built your business up and you've got an incredible team and you've got everything kind of really, really cooking, then maybe that's not going to be as much of the case. But right now, I guarantee this is true, that you are your business's most valuable asset. But if you're treating yourself, if you're sort of paying yourself last, if you're giving everybody else something and then leaving a little crumbs for yourself, then you're not treating yourself like your business's biggest asset, right? And I hate to be sort of like the tough realist here, but at the end of the day, if you keep running your business and don't pay yourself, your business is not going to be able to survive, especially not going to be able to thrive either, right? And so it's really important that you work with me through this mindset shift here, because I think too often we get stuck in this place where we're like, well, I'm just building the business right now. Well, it'll be okay down the road, right? Like eventually I'll get there. But here's the problem is if you keep making those excuses, if you keep saying, yeah, eventually we'll get there, then you're just going to keep pushing it off. There's always going to be something else that comes up. Well, I've got to pay my team, or I've got to invest in this, or I've got to do this. Always going to be something that comes up that's going to give you that excuse to push paying yourself for the work you're doing further down the road. So the mindset shift I want you to have is that you come first. You are your business's most valuable asset. Without you, the business does not exist. The business cannot grow. The business cannot thrive. So you need to take care of yourself first. Now, I know this is a tough concept for a lot of people. It sounds selfish, right? I work with a lot of clients who say that I don't want to make that much money because that feels greedy, or, it feels wrong to have money. Let me remind you here, nothing you do in this world can happen if you do not exist. And in order for you to exist, you need to take care of yourself. The example I always give is the example, when you're on the plane and they tell you, well, back when we could be on planes, if you can remember back to that day, and they tell you if something happens and that oxygen mask drops down, put it on yourself first. Even if you're with your child, right? Put it on yourself first. And why is that? Because while it may feel selfish to put yours on first, at the end of the day, if you die, that child's not getting any help from you. It's the same thing in your business. If you do not take care of yourself, if you do not give you what you need to thrive, then none of your clients or customers or community are going to get any benefit from you if you wither away, if you walk away, if you leave, if you go back to your 9-to-5 job because you couldn't pay yourself consistently. So there's no ability for you to have any kind of impact if you do not put yourself first in your business. Cool? I feel like I'm saying it and maybe you're thinking it. I'm hoping you're nodding your head going, okay. And look, here's the thing. I get that just me saying this once isn't enough. Like, you need to keep hearing this and you need to keep telling yourself. The question I always ask myself every single day is, what do I need today to make this a good day in my business? What do I need? And, let's take money out of it for a second. Sometimes the answer to that question is, I need to step away from my business today. I need time off. I need to not think about this. And other times, the answer is, I need to do something hard or uncomfortable. I need to hire somebody. I need to, I need to fire a client, or, anything like that. Some of those hard and uncomfortable things that we need to do. But by asking myself that question every single day, what do I need today for this to be a good day in my business? I'm making sure that I'm taking care of my most valuable asset in my business, and that is me. So when it comes to paying ourselves, this habit we all have of taking all the money coming in and then, here for the website and here for the VA and here for the training course and here for this, and then there's nothing left for us at the end, is a really dangerous habit. And it's one that, frankly, is going to kill your business. Lindsay says, my favorite lately, I need to ask for help. Yes, asking for help is one of the hardest things in the world to do. I think especially, this is the case for everybody, but I think especially for women, because I think there is this perception of we have to be strong, we have to be independent, we have to show that we can do this, because otherwise we're afraid we're going to get that label of she's not good enough. She can't hack it. Not as good as a man. And so we feel like we've got to do it all ourselves. But at the end of the day, no one can do it all themselves. I'm so incredibly grateful for my team because they enable me to be less stressed and to wake up every single day and come into this business refreshed and ready to teach and ready to coach and ready to support without the baggage of being stressed about, I got to send out those invoices, or I got to, do those emails, or, oh my goodness, I don't have to worry about that because of my team. And that's huge. And even if you don't have a team, asking for help can come through in different ways. It can be asking your spouse or partner for help. It can be asking your friends for support. Help comes to us in a variety of ways. But when we're thinking about us in our businesses, too often we forget that key, that we are our most valuable asset. So when we're thinking about the money and we're thinking about where our money is going to, and I'm going to be clear here. I know that this is hard if you are already in your business. You've probably got a lot of that money locked up every month, right? You've got this course that you're still paying a subscription, a payment plan for. You've got the VA, you've got the website and the email service provider, and you've got Kajabi, and you've got, this and that. So I know that it's not like you've got buckets of money sitting around that you can go, oh, okay, I can just start paying myself first and put that money towards me first. This is going to be a process where we kind of have to shift everything, right? So like right now which way are for you guys? Right now you're last. Gotta think about the mirror here. Right now you're last. So we got to switch everything to put you first, but that doesn't necessarily happen overnight. And many times it can't happen overnight, right? So we've got to kind of work it. It's like this slow process, right? And then over time, we'll get to the point where you're first and everything else comes after that. So, and we're going to talk about the specifics of this tomorrow. So we're going to talk about exactly how to do this tomorrow and how to get started. So I don't want you to stress out too much. But the thing I do want you to do coming out of today is I want you to do two things. Number one, I want you to sit down and I want you to look at, this won't take you very long, 5 minutes, and I want you to look at where the money in your business tends to go. And what I mean by this is, you don't even have to pull up your accounting system on this. We're doing this like from your head. This is like what you think about your business. And I want you to literally just sit down and say, where do I spend my money every month? And I guarantee for most of you, the first things are going to be my team, or if you've got an office or a retail space, something like that, it's going to be the tech stuff, right? And I want you to get real honest with yourself about where you fall in that list. And then I want you to do something else. Then at the bottom of that page or wherever, if you're creative, you can be more creative about this than I am. Then I want you to flip it. And I want you to write at the very top, I come first. Big letters, I come first. All caps, make it aggressive. I come first in my business. Okay. And this is just starting that mindset shift. Now, tomorrow and every day after, when you wake up, I want you to ask yourself that one question. What do I need today to make this a good day for my business? Now, it doesn't have to be specific to the money. This is a bigger question than just the money. We're going to look at it this week in terms of the money, but this is bigger than the money. So when you wake up tomorrow, you're going to say, what do I need today to make this a good day in my business? And you're going to try to honor that request. And you're going to ask yourself that every single day. Now, you're not always going to be able to honor that, or it's going to take some time. This is hard. This is hard stuff, right? I woke up today, to be completely honest, and for about a half hour, I was like, you know what I need? I need a day on the beach, right? That's what I was feeling. And I knew that just wasn't going to make sense for me today in my business. Sometimes I know when I got to think about my requests. And I'm glad I sort of pushed through that because I am excited about being here today and I'm excited about this challenge. So we're not always going to be able to honor that request right away, but you know what I am going to do? When I finish my client work today, I'm going to the beach because I know that I am my business's most valuable asset. And I know that I've got to take care of myself, not just through paying myself well, but through everything else I do in my business. Because if I do not take care of myself, I'm squandering this asset, the biggest asset my business has, and my business will tank because of it. So that's the lesson I want you to take from today is you are your business's biggest and most valuable asset, and you have got to start taking care of yourself first. You got to put that oxygen mask on first. Waking up every single day and asking yourself, what do I need today to make this a good day in my business? Tomorrow, we're going to dive into the specifics of how to make that work in terms of paying yourself. So again, don't worry. Today was very much a mindset day. Tomorrow is a practical, take action kind of day. But that's what I want you to sit with for right now. And I want you to get honest with yourself about where you've been prioritizing you in your business. And let's be honest, for many of us, this is also a carryover into our lives, right? I can tell you, I do a really bad job of prioritizing myself in my daily life. Don't take great care of myself, don't eat well, don't exercise well. There's a lot of things that I'm letting go in my personal life, and that's something I'm working on. So this is something that will help you in all aspects of your life, but especially in your business. I really want you to think about that and start switching that mindset to really understand that you are more valuable than your email service provider. You are more valuable than your website. You are more valuable than, your Instagram scheduling tool. You are more valuable than any of that stuff. And if you're not taking care of yourself, you are not setting up a business for lifelong success. You are setting up a recipe for disaster because you will burn out. you will hit that end point where you say, I can't do this anymore, and I don't want you to get there. Cool? All right, friends. So I don't see any other questions or comments, but last call. I know there's a bit of delay on these lives. And again, that's my one takeaway for you, is to remember that you are your business's biggest asset, biggest and most valuable asset. Maybe not biggest, most valuable asset. And to ask yourself that question every single day of, what do you need to make this a good day in your business? Okay, so Lindsay says, thoughts on paying myself versus spending on business that in turn brings joy. For example, spending 20% more per month for a bigger, nicer office when a smaller office would still work. Ooh, that's a great question. So, and this is one of the things I talk about. I get comfortable for this question. All right. This is one of the things I talk about when I talk about, business budgeting, which we're not going to get into a ton this week, but I do talk a lot about in my membership, Meg K. Wheeler, where is it? megkwheeler.com/action. And what I talk about in when we talk about business budgeting is, this is never a question of like afford or can't afford. This is a question of priorities. And so, Lindsay, for you, I think what it really comes down to is, what are your priorities? So I'm the kind of person, I have some anxiety issues. I get claustrophobic. Like, space is a very important thing to me, not just having space, but the space I'm in. So for me, where I work is really important, and it can really affect how productive I am. So, and this is actually one of the reasons why I really struggled when I was in corporate, when I had, a desk basically on a big floor that was really open. I really, really struggled. And I always felt bad about myself. Like, what's wrong with me? Why am I not good enough to do this? And in reality, it was because it was so overstimulating to me. It was just too much, and I could never focus. And so when I actually quit my job in corporate and worked for myself and worked from home, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm getting so much done because I can create my environment the way I want it. So I tell you all of that to say, for you, it's, spending 20% more a month for a bigger, nicer office, I would just simply ask yourself, is this a priority for me? Does this have a return? In sort of the financial side of things in business, we're always talking about a return on investment, meaning for what you put in, what do you get back? So if I put $1 in for Facebook ads and I make $2 because that person buys my course, well, that's a pretty good return. I've doubled my money. Now, the return doesn't always have to be quantified in terms of dollars or currency. It can also be in tangible benefits. Those are harder to measure, but they're still really important to recognize. So the question I'd be asking you is, what is the benefit you're getting back in return from spending that extra 20%? Are you more productive? Is it more peace of mind? Can you take on, can you bring more people into your office when we're allowed to do that because it's a bigger office? Can you accommodate a team now because of it? I'd be thinking about all of the different possible benefits you're getting from that investment, and then making a decision, is this a priority for me? So, you had said paying myself versus spending money on something that in turn brings me joy. I think the way I would look at it is by spending this money on this bigger office, am I then able to make more money, which in turn allows me to pay myself more? If I'm not, then I'm not sure I'd be doing it, because at the end of the day, you do want that money to come back to you. But there are plenty of things in my business that I could just pay myself, but instead I invest into my business in some manner, because I recognize the ROI that I'll get from that. And so Lindsay says, stay tuned for the ROI. I think it will lead to better partnerships and increased productivity, but I also feel like I was just selling it to myself that way, LOL. So now it's time to follow through. So what I would say to you then, Lindsay, is I would actually, and I don't know all the specifics of if you can do it and then scale it back or whatnot, but I would actually say, I would sit down and write out a plan and say, okay, if I think that this is going to have ROI, and I don't think I'm conning myself, which I love you for the fact that you recognize you might be conning yourself, because I con myself all the time to get stuff I want. 100%. I'm my own worst con artist. Okay. So trust me, I get this. But I would sit down and basically say, what do I need to see in return to make this worth it? And then I would get really honest about whether or not, whatever that is, whether or not you think you can deliver on that. And then here's the hard part. Before you sign the lease for that office, before you make that upgrade, I want you to try to work towards those goals for the next 1 to 3 months. So for example, if you say, I need to bring on one more client a month to make this office worth it, I want you to try to bring that client on before you sign up for the office. Now, yes, it might be a little bit harder because, all the reasons we talked about why that office will be better for you, but I want you to try to do it anyway. I want you to see if you can do it before you sign on to that commitment. That to me is always the best way of figuring out if I'm conning myself or not. Because if I want that new office that badly, I will find a way to get that extra client. And if I don't, then I didn't really want the office that badly. It was just a new pretty thing I got my heart set on. So that would be my recommendation for you. Good luck. I'm excited to hear what happens. So Julie says, how much should I pay myself weekly? Julie, I love you. Julie's funny. She's my funny friend. And I love this question because I am picturing you asking this, and I'm picturing us giggling over the fact that how the heck am I going to answer this question, my dear friend, with no information? So here's my answer to you, Julie. It depends. I just gave you the lawyer answer. I did what my husband does, and I gave you the lawyer answer. It depends. When we're thinking about how much to pay ourselves weekly, and it sounds like you pay yourself weekly or monthly or however often you pay yourself, there is no right or wrong answer. As Lindsay points out, there are always these balancing acts between investing back into our business, which makes us more money. And Julie wants a percentage. She wants a number. So investing back into the business and, putting it into our own pocket. And Julie, you're going to hate my answer. I'm not even going to give you a percentage. I know that's like super effing annoying. Like, just give me a damn percentage. All right, I'll give you one. This is a sneak peek into the membership. So in the membership, there is actually a section on paying yourself. And I'm going to talk about this in a second in more detail, but there's a section on paying yourself. And in there, I do say that when you're just starting out, if you have the ability to design your numbers, meaning you haven't committed to anything yet, and you're just starting out, that I want to see you putting, and this is assuming you're a service-based business or digital products or something like that, I want to see you putting at least 50% of what you bring in back into your pocket. Now, that's a big number. It's a big number for a lot of people. And this is not a number that a lot of you who've been in business for a while maybe necessarily can do right now. And I also want to be clear that as your revenues grow, if you've got a $1 million business, meaning you're making $1 million in profits in a sense, I'm not necessarily suggesting that you put 50% back. So that number gets smaller as your business grows. But when you're just starting out, if you're going to force me to give you a percentage, Julie, I'm going to tell you 50%. But I also want to be super clear. That number is completely made up, pulled out of air. And the reason is because this is a much more nuanced question. So the way Julie says, believe it or not, I'm not trying to be a pain in the ass. Oh, I know you aren't, my dear. I love you for this question. You're asking the question that everybody asks. And I think your question is perfect because it highlights that this is why people struggle with this. Because when there isn't a clear, specific answer, it's really hard to do. And so, I've got clients who will do a variety of things. I've got some clients who will say, well, I'm paying myself a little bit, so at least I'm paying myself, and they kind of check it off the list to deal with down the road. I've got other clients who will say, I just don't know how much to pay myself, and so they almost abandon the conversation completely. So I'm so glad you brought it up because this is the question that everybody is asking. This is the $1 million question. And it's the hardest one to answer. We're going to talk about this a little bit tomorrow. And like I said, we're not going to dive into the whole budget thing this week, but knowing your business budget is a really important piece of this. So having projections for how much you're going to bring in, understanding what those expenses are that you need to run your business is an important piece of this as well. I also will tell people, all right, now I'm giving away more secrets in the membership. Y'all are going to make me give you the whole membership. You're not going to join. But another thing I talk about in the paying yourself section of the membership is to actually figure out this. I actually talk about this in the context of your hourly rate and determining your hourly rate. But you can use the same sort of concept here, which is there's a few different buckets of information I like to pull together to figure out how much to pay myself. So the first is what I want to make. Now, I want to be very, very clear. That alone is not the answer because I want to make like $10 million a day. That alone is not the answer. But looking at my personal finances, my personal bills, and knowing kind of what that number is that I want to take home, that's first piece of the action. The second piece of the action is what people typically make doing the work that you do. Or if you were to go be on someone else's payroll to do this work, what would you get paid? That's sort of piece number 2. The third piece is the value to your client. So, if you're a Facebook ads expert and, you're able to, double your client's money, over what they were doing before, then you could take that into sort of consideration. And then the fourth is that business budget, which is, what are my revenues coming in? What are my expenses going out? And I want to be very clear here, because we're talking about prioritizing yourself. The question isn't what's left over. Question is not what's left over once you pay all those expenses. But knowing all of those numbers will help you figure out, what's realistic to pay yourself. If you're bringing in $10,000 in revenues every month, you're not going to be paying yourself 20 grand a month. That's just not realistic, right? So you need to know that as well. Lindsay says there's a joke there. $1 million question, pay yourself 50%. Yeah, there absolutely is a joke. Absolutely is a joke. I look forward to the day I have 2 million in revenue. Yeah, but here's the thing, Lindsay. Here's what I want you to say. I don't want you to say, I look forward to the day I have 2 million in revenue. I want you to say, I look forward to the day I have 2 million in profits. Because remember, revenues, you could have a $2 million revenue business and spend $1.9 million on Facebook ads to get it, or something else, or your team, or whatever to get it. So you, my friend, you are going to have a $2 million profitable business. That's what I'm going to look forward to for you. So Julie, we're going to dive into it a bit tomorrow as well, in terms of like how to start this stuff. So I would definitely recommend coming back here as well. But good, I'm glad that helped. And I know I wish I could give you like, this percentage is exactly what you should do. It's different for everybody. All right, friends, I'm going to wrap it up there. Before I go, as soon as I get off this, we are opening up the Badass Action Takers membership. So here's the deal. I'll give you the really quick overview. You can read all about it by going to megkwheeler.com/action. But the Badass Action Takers is all about taking action to master the money stuff in your business. It's all about building a financially fit business, one that is scalable and profitable so that you are not trading hours for dollars. Julie, you're so welcome. Badass Action Takers, it is a monthly membership, so you can pay as you go every single month. There's also an annual plan as well. And if you sign up for the annual plan, you get a free one-on-one 30-minute call with me. So plus you save $73 by signing up for the annual plan. So that's a winner. Every single month in the Badass Action Takers, there are workshops and trainings. We do a live Q&A. We do hot seat coaching for pretty much every member that wants it. We also will have guest speakers coming in. We have accountability built in every single week. So every single month in the membership, I ask you to choose one action goal for the month, and I help keep you accountable to that goal. We also build in time for implementation, because I know that life is overwhelming and there's so much going on, and I want to make sure you're actually getting stuff done. But the Badass Action Takers really is perfect for anyone who's got the basic money stuff set up. You got your bank account, you got your accounting system, but now you're wondering what's next. You want to grow your business. You want to really manage your money better. If you're struggling with cash flow, if you're stressed that your bank account's always, negative or low, if you don't know how to budget, or you struggle with budgeting, if you are struggling to set financial goals that you're actually hitting, or you don't even know where to start with financial goals, if you're not paying yourself, if you're not paying yourself well enough or consistently enough, if you're not sure about pricing your offers, not sure how to raise your prices, not sure if you're profitable or not sure how to be profitable. And then lastly, if you want to build a scalable and profitable business, so one that, doesn't rely just on you showing up to make money, but one that has multiple revenue streams, one that has passive income, one that truly is scalable, but that is also profitable as well. And the Badass Action Takers is a great fit for you. So again, I'm only opening the doors for 4 days. It's going to end Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern. You can grab your spot by going to megkwheeler.com/action. And I'm super pumped to welcome all of you in. I will be back here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. Tomorrow, we are getting into the nitty-gritty. We're talking about how to start paying yourself well and consistently, so that you can actually benefit from everything awesome that's going on in your business. All right, friends, I will see you back here tomorrow. And hopefully in the meantime, I will see you in the Action Takers. Bye for now.